Everyone. We are going to be trying to go live here as we are building out some of this really awesome stuff. I think we have some people who are going to be coming in here. I want to test this out right now. I'm mostly just doing a practice test, right? Oh yeah, look at that. There we go. It's going great. There we go. So we have everyone who's kind of rolling in here. I'm just like currently trying to get all this working so we can have a good. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. So my goal here is we're going to be streaming on this, and we're going to be going over some advanced SQL topics today. So I'm just going to let people roll in here for a second, and then we will go from there to see kind of like what happens, and we can see what's going on, right? Because I'm trying to get it to a point where we can like actually get people watching, get people going here, right? So just give me like another like 2 or 3 minutes here to get this rolling. But like I'm really excited to keep you. Thank you so much, Edu and Maria on YouTube. I have it on. I'm currently streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube to kind of get this rolling initially. I'm really excited to see where this goes. So, anyways, without further ado, y'all, let's kind of get into this. So you'll see here I have this editor open on the left here. This is DataExpert.io. So if you go to DataExpert.io, you can make an account and then you can have access to this data set as well. And we will be going through a lot of these different kind of data sets. So I'm just going to show you how this editor works for now. So if you hit run query, you'll see you'll get a notification when you go to the classroom that of all the queries I ran, so you can kind of stick around and stay with it. So you'll see here is all the data that is generated by that query. You can page through it, do whatever you want, see what's going on. So what I want to do today is we're going to be going over a little bit more complicated query patterns and complicated things here. We're going to be mostly working with Halo match details and Halo metals matches players. So let's go ahead and look at Halo metals matches players first. Let's just, oops, I did not mean to do that. Let's run that selection there. So let's just look at 50 records here. So you'll see here we have, I got 7 of this metal in this match. So we don't know what metal that is. So let's go ahead and figure out what that metal is first. So the goal here is to figure out like how many metals of each kind that I have gotten. So I'm exactly right. That's my username. And so we're going to give this a little alias here. We're going to call this HMMP. And then we're going to say join. We're going to say bootcamp.halometals HM on hmmp.metal_id equals hm.metal_id. And then I'm just going to still put a limit. Let's put a limit 100 there. And this will give us some more interesting kind of data behind what we were thinking about, right? Just a simple join here. So you'll see now we have all of this stuff. So you'll see here, this is just a headshot metal. So you see headshot, double kill, reversal, all these metals. You see this one called name. So really what we want to do here is if we say hm.name and then we say hmmp.count, and then we say, what else we got here? Player gamer tag. That's going to be hmmp.player gamer tag. So this is going to give us a nice clean query. And keep in mind that y'all can follow along here just by following down and making your own DataExpert.io account. And then you can be building these queries too. So you'll see here now we have our headshot exactly. So one second, there's still a little bug in this query editor. I'm just going to refresh real quick, and I'm going to paste them back in. And we're going to run this one more time just so we can have a clean looking data. I'm still trying to figure out what is going on with that. But you'll see here is all of my metals, and then you can see the count. Great. This looks cool. Let's go ahead and add that filter actually. So we're going to say in here, we're going to say where hmmp.playergamertag equals exactly, just so we can look at just my data. So this is pretty good. But the problem here is this query here is going to be just like, you'll see there's like duplicate rows, right? You see the headshot. because this is how many I've gotten in each individual match. So we need to do an aggregation here. So what we want to do is let's put a sum around count here. And then if we say group by hm.name hmmp.playergamertag, that is going to give us a much cleaner kind of look of what this query is supposed to look like. So you see now we have all this. It's kind of not ordered the right way though. So let's go ahead and put an order there. So if we say order by sum count descending, that should give us a really nice query that will show us exactly what we're looking for. So you'll see like, okay, so I've gotten 22,000 headshots, 3,200 double kills, almost 3,300 double kills. So this is all like Halo 5 data, by the way, back when I was like, I had like no life. So this is an interesting query, right? And this is a very, very common query that you would be asked to do in like a data analytics role, where you have to do a simple join, a simple where, a group by, and then an order by, right? So one of the things that's interesting here, though, is there could be another thing that we might want to count here. So imagine if we put count distinct, and then we say match ID as number of matches. So this is like, this could be interesting to see like how many matches I've gotten those medals in. So you see like, for example, for double kill, I've gotten it in 3,100. So check this out though. So you see like perfect kill, I've gotten 1,000 of them, but only in 628 matches. Whereas killing spree, I've gotten 1,000 of them, but that's in 800 matches. So what that's showing you is that it's a lot more likely to get one killing spree in one game, whereas perfect kills kind of come more in a clustered way of doing things, right? So that is probably another thing that I would want to see. So if we say hmmp.count, and then we say divide by count distinct match ID, as we can say medals per match, right? And then let's go ahead and let's order by that instead to see what is going on. So we can maybe see like, oh, is there a medal that is better, right? Okay, so you'll see, see this problem here? See how this is not, this is like an integer, and it probably shouldn't be an integer. So let's go ahead and not make it an integer. Let's cast this as a decimal. Or actually, I like casting it as real. You can cast it as decimal or as real. They're essentially the same thing. And so, because we really do want that to be a decimal number, not a freaking. Okay, look at that. There we go. So now you'll see. Okay, so it's looking like like Wheelman, right? I have 4 in one match, and I've only gotten, but it's like really high. So you see, this is giving a much different view of the world than oh, look at this, like null. There's like some random like bad data with the medals, right? And so you can see that like certain medals, like see double kill, even though I got a lot of them, I only average like 1.8 a game. So you can really see that you can kind of learn a lot more about how medals and how data works just by running a quick little kind of thing here, right? So yeah, for everyone who's just tuning in right now, we are building out some queries on DataExpert.io, keeping in mind that this query experience is completely free. You can come in here, you can learn, you can play around with these data sets and figure some stuff out. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, we're going to just get rid of player gamer tag real quick here. And so we can see like, who is the, like, what medal does someone have as the most medals they've gotten in one game? Okay, look at this guy. So EF5 Albino, he has 34 headshots. So in one game, he got 34 headshots. This guy got 28 double kills in one game. So the problem here, though, is that like really just because they had one good match, that's probably not good enough. So what I would say is we probably want to throw a halving in here. So we can say match ID is greater than 10, just so like they have to have at least some amount of matches rolling in order to like actually do this stuff. There we go. So now this is great. So this guy, I'm not that good. He averages 15 headshots a game. And you'll see that most of these are now headshot. It looks like how long does it go for headshot? It's just all headshot. My guess is these are all SWAT. So SWAT is a game mode in Halo where if you get one headshot, they die immediately. So my guess is that's what's going on here in terms of all of these, right? So headshot's probably kind of a little bit annoying there. So let's just add that. We're going to say where hm.name does not equal headshot. Let's just look at like some other metal besides headshot, because that's kind of boring. It's kind of like not a very interesting thing. Oh, looks like it's stronghold captured, and it's me. I'm literally top of the stack there. That's wild. So here's me, stronghold captured, top of the stack, medals per match, 6.7. So that makes sense though, because like when you run around capturing strongholds, like you just kind of run around like with a chicken with your head cut off, right? So that's essentially what I'm trying to show here with this query is like this is essentially every keyword, right? You have select from, join, where, group by, having, order by. And then, you could, if you want to like throw on like a limit here, you could throw a limit on there as well. And then that can be kind of all of it together. And that is going to be a pretty great way that you could kind of show up with what's going on for these types of queries. So that is essentially what I wanted to show just for this query right now. So I'm going to go ahead and make a table here. So I can say create table. I'm going to call this Zach Wilson dot. I'm going to get rid of the headshot thing here. I'm going to say create table Zach Wilson dot. We're going to say medal summary. We're going to call this Halo medal summary. So you can also create tables. Just remember that you have to create it with your schema. So I have the Zach Wilson schema. Whatever your username is, you have to create it with that schema. So that's the only place that you can create data. So I'm going to get rid of that limit. So then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of this having to, because we just want all the data aggregated up. So, and then we're going to call this as medal count. And everything else here, and we're going to call this as medal name, because we want to have nice names for our columns here. So then we can go ahead and run this query. And so this query is going to run, and this is going to create an actual table that is stored in Iceberg, by the way. So this is all using very real, very awesome big data technologies where you can actually go and see that just created 467,000 rows in the data set. So now let's just go ahead and see what those rows look like. So if we say select star from this table, limit 100. So if we go ahead and run this, now this query should be very fast because it's just like a simple select. So there we go. So now we can see all of the matches and all of the players, different freaking columns, right? And so one of the things you might notice is like the sorting doesn't seem like it worked very well. That's something that because of the fact that like it probably got split up into a bunch of files, like it's not going to read the global sort the right way. So that's something that we can look at, right? So if we say show stats for, and then we say we do this select, we want to just like understand what is going on with this query here. You can say show stats for. So this is like a Trino thing here. So you'll see here. So this is what it's saying we're pulling in here, and you'll see this is going to be the medal count, the high and low value, right? Makes sense that someone has gotten the minimum value is 1, the maximum value is 22,000. That makes sense. And then you can see the number of matches. So like I think this 3,100 is mine, right? And you'll see that like here's all the data size, the distinct values. So there's 65,000 unique gamers in here. It looks like this has a very, very small percentage of nulls, but you'll see that like a lot of these other columns have no nulls at all, which is pretty cool. So you can do really great things with this like show stats for. And I'm going to be doing deeper dives into that stuff, like how that works with Iceberg, right? Because like one of the things that you can also do that is really cool is, so if you run a query like this and you put $, at the end of it, oh, does it have to be like this? One second. Does it work with just that? Does it not work with the quote? Okay, maybe it's like this. One second. Maybe it's like that. There we go. So you see now with Iceberg, one of the things that you can do that's really cool is you can actually you can query the files directly. So you'll notice here when you say $files, Halo Metal Summary $files, you'll see, okay, so here is, so I guess this is only one file. I guess there is actually only exactly one file here. And you can see what the upper and lower bounds are, and you can see the size of it, right? So this is how many, like the file size in bytes. So that's pretty cool that you can kind of understand like how this file works, and you'll see it's stored in Parquet. So one of the things I want to show real quick is how we can actually make this a lot smaller, this file size. So you see this file size is like, I don't know, like a couple megabytes, right? It's like 2 meg. So if we go and let's go ahead and go back just a little bit here. It's just like, I'm going to Command Z like a lot. Just one second. Let's just go back pretty far. I want to go back to where we created that table. And then you can see, okay, so here's our table. And then I'm going to call this V2. I'm going to call this Halo Metal Summary V2. And the only thing we're going to change here is now what we're going to do is we're going to order by hm.name, hmmp.playergamertag. So instead of ordering by the medals per match, we're going to order by HM. We're going to order by this. And the reason why we're doing that is because these columns are much lower cardinality. And then you can leverage this thing called Parquet compression if you actually sort on low cardinality fields. So if we run this query and we're going to create it into this Halo Metal Summary V2, which then we can compare the V1 files and the V2 files. So you can see how all of this works. So it's going and it's running. It's thinking about it. See, it's trying its best, doing it, giving the good old college try. There we go. So now it just wrote 467,000 records. So now let's go ahead and look at like this file real quick, or this like table. So if we say select star from this table, and remember if you like put the table name in quotes and you put $files at the end of it, and I'm gonna say this is new, and then we have we're gonna say union all, and then we're gonna select from this other table, which was just not the V2. This is old. So remember how we had these two files, these two tables, and we're going to look at to see how that sort order actually makes a very big difference. So you'll see here, like, okay, new, and you see this is the Parquet, great, right? Record count, and then, ooh, interesting. It's saying that it's all, it didn't actually compress it. I wonder why. I wonder what's going on there. That seems like incorrect. That seems like that should be how it should. But like, let's go ahead and look at what's going on there, because that honestly should be compressing better. Is this actually doing what I expect it to do here? So if we run this query real quick, and we should see, see, it's not. Okay, interesting. So I think then that is something that we want to see what's going on. So I think it's like that create table as, like create. I don't think that holds on to the sorting. I think you have to do insert into. I think it's got to be like that in order to fix the sorting problem. So we can go over that later. That's something that I was not expecting. But so anyways, I want to take like just a 2-3 minute break here just to kind of let y'all get into things. I'm going to check some of the things that are going on in the chats, all the things that are anyone who is trying to learn from me, right? Because my goal here is I just want to teach, right? I'm trying to teach and get people on board with what's going on here. And it's going to be, it's been a fun little journey here. I do think that there's going to be a lot of powerful things. Oh, wow. It actually does come through. The restream comments come through. Okay, that's really cool. This is awesome. Okay. Okay, so cool. That actually does go through. That's okay. That makes I'm learning. I'm learning how to do this like restream stuff. right? And I really appreciate y'all. So if anyone has any kind of questions about where things are at, I actually now know I can see y'all's questions and thoughts and opinions. So, but like we're gonna be going over another query here in just a second. On what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna look at how to compare teammates so we can understand how different teammates interact with each other. So like imagine like if I play with someone else or I play with another person, then that might impact my play in some way or another, you know. So that is something I am definitely curious to see what y'all want to learn from me. But make sure that you have make sure to make a DataExpert.io account so you can follow along here. It's completely free. All right. Awesome. Hey, what's up, Joao? I'm glad that we got some more people from Brazil here. So one of the things that I'm about to be going into this next question on how to analyze where my different, like who is my best teammate and all that stuff. So let's kind of dig into that a little bit. So I think we are ready to go here. And if anyone has any questions, I think we should be able to do this, right? So you see here, like this time we're going to say select star from bootcamp.halo match details. And then we're just gonna throw on a limit 100 here. It's very common to start off these things with limits and to do things like this, right? So you'll see here we have a player. So this is going to be a table that has a lot of columns in it. So, and I know what columns that we need here, right? So let's go ahead and say we need player gamer tag. We need player total kills. We need player total deaths. Let's just go through this real quick to see if there's anything else that I really care about. I think there's like a did win column. And there's like, okay, team ID and did win. So those are the other two things we need. So we're going to say we have player total kills, we have did win, and then we have team ID. And I'm actually going to say this is did win equals 1 as did win because I want it to be a Boolean. I don't really care. And then I'm just going to call this, I'm going to wrap this in a CTE. So we're going to call this with match details as. And then this will be our kind of CTE. So if we say select star from match details, this makes a lot of sense so far, right? So if we run this, you'll see we have some pretty good data here. So this is now a player. We have the player to, oh, we need match ID as well. Match ID so that we can link up people on a match. So one of the things that's really cool about solving this problem here is that this problem is mostly done with a self join. So right now we have a player, the total kills, the match ID, all that stuff. So I'm just going to show you what I mean by that. We're going to call this match details, and we're going to say join match details. I'm going to call this MD1 and MD2. MD2 on. So, and then the on condition here is kind of interesting. So we're going to say MD1.match ID equals MD2.match ID and MD1.team ID equals MD2.team ID. So we want to match all the records where they share the same match and the same team. And then we have one more and here. We say and MD1.playerGamerTag does not equal MD2.playerGamerTag. So now if we run this query is now like a really powerful self join that I think that y'all will find interesting. So now what we want to do is we say MD1.playerGamerTag, MD2.playerGamerTag. And then I'm going to call these are going to be two different types of players, but it will make more sense. So this is going to be as, I'm going to call this shooting player, and this is as helping player. And that's going to make more sense here in a second, but we're going to say MD1 player total kills, and then we have MD1 did win, and we have MD1.player total deaths. I missed a comma there. So this is now going to be, will make more sense as we kind of go through this. So you'll see now we have a query here. We have the player. Okay, it's being a little buggy again. I'm going to cut this and just refresh real quick. That is something I'm working on. So if we run this query one more time, you'll see we will have, here we go. So we have the shooting player, then we have the helping player. So Taterbase and Jake Wilson 801 played together, and Taterbase got 6 kills and 13 total deaths, and they did win. So that is what's going on here. But now what we want to do is we kind of want to aggregate here along a couple different dimensions. So what we want to do is I'm going to call this as another CTE. We're going to call this as combined. And that's going to make this a lot cleaner to work with. So now if we say select star from combined, but what we want to do is we want to do a sum here. So if we say shooting player, helping player, and then we say sum player total kills divided by sum player total deaths. So there's going to be, this should give us, and then we can do a group by here, group by shooting player, helping player. So this is going to give us, I think we might get a weird division by 0 here. I think that's the problem. Yeah, see, we have division by 0. So we have to do a case when here. So case when this equals 0, then 1, else this end. We got to wrap that. So we just divide by 1 when it's 0. That's like a weird kind of edge case. So there we go. So now, but you see we have a nasty problem here again, where it's like that integer division. So we need to cast this guy again as a real, so we can get a much more reasonable kill death ratio. So now this kill death ratio here, this kill death ratio is going to be, so when I play, so I'm exactly, when I play with an Acer 1, I have a kill death ratio of 0.94. So that's, I know my overall kill death ratio is a lot higher than that. So I should probably not be playing with that guy. But we also want to do one more here. We want to say average of did win. Oh, wait, we want to actually, yeah, let's actually go back up here. I think we can keep this as an integer because we can just use an average. So we don't have to, and this is as win percentage. So this is going to be really fancy, I promise. If y'all just stick with me here, I promise y'all are going to really, really appreciate what's going to happen here. So again, we have this win percentage problem where this needs to be cast as a real, right? So now if we run this, we should be able to get a better number here. So a lot of these users here, they actually just have one game. So let's actually do that real quick. So we're going to count a match ID as number of matches, because I might only play with someone one time, right? And if I have one bad game with someone, oh, is this not where? Oh, I forgot to put it in here. So we need the md1.matchid. We got to have the match ID in there, so we can have we can count it. There we go. So now here we go. Now here's me when I play with Jake. And I have 781 matches, and my overall, my KD is 1.2, and we win 54% of the time. This guy seems like a pretty good choice. So one of the things though is like, what is my overall KD, right? And that is something that I can show you very, very easily. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to change this group by just a little bit. So instead of doing a group by like this, we're going to say group by, and then we're going to say grouping sets. And then inside grouping sets, the first grouping set is exactly the same as it was before, shooting player, helping player. So this group by is going to be for both when we have the shoot. And then we also want to just group by shooting player, because that will give us the overall aggregates. And then this will give the aggregates when I'm playing with a specific person. The problem with that, though, is that we do have to do a coalesce here, and this is going to be overall as, and then we can call this helping player, because that helping player might be ignored. So now if we run this query, you'll see we'll have grouping sets, and now we'll have, okay, so you'll see in here now we have, okay, here's me playing with Durkal, but we only have one match. So, oh, what? Oh, no, I lost it. Okay, yeah. Oh, it's all good. I have the query here. Let me go back to it. I accidentally freaking went to a new page. Okay, so here's that. Let me run that query one more time. So now we have, okay, so here's all the people. Like, one of the things I want to do here is I want to say order by count match ID descending. So this is going to give us all the players, and like hopefully the very first one here is me, because I know I have the most data in here. Yeah, there we go. So here's exactly, and I have 9,000 matches played, right? And this is overall 9,000 matches played, and then I have a 54% win percentage. You see, here are all the overalls, right? But you'll see as we go to other pages. See, here is when I play with Illicit 117, I have 953 matches, and I have a 1.16 KDR and a 56% win rate. And you'll see that that's actually better. That's actually better than my overall, right? Is right here. So what we want to do here is we want to do one more CTE here, and then we will be a lot closer to what we want to do here. So then we're going to call this, I'm going to call this aggregated as, and that's going to be all of this. So then we also, this needs we're going to call this as kill death ratio, because we need to have all the names of things. So now we have our aggregated. So if we say select star from aggregated, this is great. But we also want to essentially have one of the aggregateds be overall, right? So what we want to do is I'm just going to call this A1, and then we're going to say join aggregated A2 on A1.shooting player equals A2.shooting player and A2.helping player equals overall. So all this is going to do is this is going to bring in those overall numbers so that we can compare and we can see like, okay, how are we doing overall compared to like other things? You know what I mean? So we can actually see the kind of future of where things are going to go. So you'll see now in here we have a helping player, we have the shooting player, helping player, number of matches, kill death ratio, win percentage, and then we have shooting player again, because this is the overall data. So A2 here is going to be overall. So let's just go ahead and look at this stuff real quick. So we have A1.shooting player, we have A2.helping player, and then we have A1.kill death ratio. Then we have A2.kill death ratio, and then we have A1.win percentage. And we have A2.win percentage. So let's just look at these freaking 6 columns real quick, because I think that that will make a lot more sense. So, oh, it's being dumb again. So 1 second. I just like, this is a very interesting bug that I know I need to get fixed, where like the columns get all weird after you like run enough queries. Like it doesn't keep track of the columns the right way. So, okay, there we go. So now, oh, this is my bad. This is A1. These are both A1.helping player, not A2, because we want to know who that person was. So there we go. So now you'll see, you see here how we have some people, and like you'll see. Okay, so when I play with HX bout, my kill death ratio is 1.7, and this is my overall. My overall is 1.19. So this is like a good person, probably, right? You see, because like he raises me from 1.2 to 1.7, and my win percentage with him is 1. And whereas my overall win percentage is 0.54. But the problem here is like, it's probably just number of matches. So we probably have a problem here in terms of like, we probably want to put a where here. We can say where A1.number of matches is greater than, we'll say greater than 25, just so like we don't have some weird outliers where it's like, I played 1 game with the man and like we had a great game. Okay, so now you'll see here we have, here is Ash Almighty and with playing with Jake, right? And you'll see like they play almost the same, right? Very, very similar. Those numbers are a little bit different, like, but like you'll see when he plays with Jake, they win like about 1% more often. They have a 53% win rate instead of a 52% win rate. So one of the things I want to do here is like, we don't like this overall here. And we can say where A1.helping player does not equal overall, because we don't need those records. We just do not need those. So, and you'll see here we have, okay, there we go. So now when, So this is Jake Wilson, who's literally my brother. So when Jake plays with me, we have his overall kill death ratio, or this is his kill death ratio when he plays with me, which is 0.96. So I actually bring him down, right? So you see his overall is 1.03, but I bring him down to 0.96. So I probably steal this man's kills a lot, and he probably doesn't like it. But you see, win percentage wise, right? I actually bring him up because he was 0.53 to 0.54. So he actually wins about 1% more often, even though he does worse in terms of kill death ratio. So you can see that this is another great way to kind of like see what's going on. So one of the things that you can do here, right, is you really want to understand like some divisions here, right, where you have A2 is the overall. So if you do like A2 divided by A1, and then you say and you just do overall divided by what it is with that player, right? This is going to give you like as percent difference, right? So this number is going to be bigger or smaller than 1, right? So if it's bigger than 1, that means that the overall is so if it's bigger than 1, that means that the overall is greater than what it is with that player. So in that case, you want to do a minus, right? So we can say like a -1 here. And let's just do -1 here as win percent difference. So if we run this query, I have an extra comma. There we go. So you'll see here we have 2 players here where this is the overall, and then this is divided by, so since this is below 1, this is, what is going on here? Because this is actually better. They play 9% better with this person. It's actually the opposite. So it's actually -1 times this. There's probably a better way to do this than that formula, but it's going to be -1 times this, the -1. So that will give us the, like, this is going to be the percent difference, right? So now you can see, okay, like, so when Ash Almighty plays with Stormbane, he does 2% worse, right? But he wins 12% more often. So that's pretty cool, right? You can see how you can build these out, and then you can order by all of this stuff, and then you can see what's going on, right? And it's really powerful things that you can do when you are kind of like working with these queries. So you'll see that this is mostly like all of this together is getting pretty big in terms of like what can be done here. But I mostly think that is the I'm gonna try to say here, that is like the main things I wanted to cover today. I want to take a slight pause here and see what if anyone has any thoughts or questions or anything like that. I am wide open. I have my streaming going, and so I definitely think that we can definitely get some more questions and thoughts and perspectives in here. And I'm also down to answer anyone's questions if they have any other open kind of thoughts or opinions on things. But yeah, like I'm really excited about this platform though, this DataExpert platform. You saw how I was able to just like bash out some queries. It's not completely perfect yet, and I'm still kind of working on getting this like perfected, but it's getting a lot closer now. And I'm really excited to see where this goes and like how we can kind of teach SQL and build and grow with each other here. And because I know SQL is going to be so fundamental. And next time I'm going to be trying to do this on LinkedIn and on Twitter. And I'm going to I did a kind of a test run today on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And I want to get this going on Twitter and LinkedIn and hopefully Instagram as well. And then we can all run queries together and build this out and hopefully get a lot of eyeballs on this at once too. Because I think that would be a really powerful way to just teach people and have people grow. And yeah, but anyways, y'all, like I really appreciate your time today. And I hope y'all have a fantastic Monday, because I don't think anyone here is really trying to ask any questions. But if anyone who's joined, like, go ahead, make sure to make a DataExpert.io account, and you can try out this query experience. I would love for anyone to kind of figure out what's going on here. There's also a bunch of free content there. I have like, I don't know, like 15 hours or so of free content that is available on DataExpert.io about LLMs, about SQL, about data engineering interviews, about pretty much anything that you would want to learn about is on that platform. I'm really excited to see where that goes. Yeah, I'm hoping to do more of these. This was actually way more interesting and effective than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I hope y'all have a fantastic Monday though. And thank you so much for giving me the time and energy and effort today to try out this new type of teaching and learning experience. Because I think as this grows, we will be able to get more and more people involved, and it should be great. Also, if you are interested in streaming or being a part of this as well, definitely reach out to me on LinkedIn or on whatever platform suits you. I'm pretty open to hearing about DMs. So yeah, thank you everyone. I hope y'all have a fantastic Monday and have a happy new year.